This is Jonathan Agger, 5th Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Shane Mcguigan here at Mcguigan's gym. Had a media day for Caroline and Ellie, ahead of April 5th. Shane, every time I look on Instagram, you're doing a different marathon. I think you were just back from Spain, was it? How was it?
No, I went to Tokyo, and then so that was good fun. Yeah, I went out, ran Tokyo Marathon. Don't get many opportunities to do that, so it took it was a pretty intense few days because you travel out there and you lose a whole day, so it was good fun. Yeah.
And how's your YouTube channel getting on, Shane Mcguigan?
Sounds very narcissistic. It's doing okay. It's a little bit more dormant now, but hopefully we got some exciting stuff coming up. We got Ellie and Caroline both boxing on April 5th, and we'll do something around then.
Cool. Let's talk about April 5th. Ellie Scotney, first of all, going for undisputed. I was telling her earlier, it's been like years, everyone talking about, or she talking about going for undisputed. She gets it now. Yeah. What challenge does she have in front of her with Flores?
She's got a hard, I mean, Flores beat Romero, the opponent before, who we thought was a really hard, a hard person to beat, decent punching power. So Flores takes a good shot. She fights at a whirlwind pace. She's also sub 5 foot. She's like 4'11" and a half or something. So she's going to be hard to hit clean, and there's an intensity about her that she sets. And I think it's for us to manage the game plan, correctly, and approach the fight in the right manner. But Ellie has only had a relatively small amount of fights, but she's been in competitive, high intense, high quality fights from the get-go. So she has a lot of experience for someone that's only had so little fights.
If she wins, she becomes the only male or female British undisputed champion, current, when she wins. Do you feel like she is getting the respect? Do you feel like she has got the respect, or do you feel like this will cement that?
Well, her last fight was on Netflix. It got a huge amount of traction, and this one, she's a co-headline on Sky Sports. So you can't ask for better than that. And she, boxed for another belt in the last one, and she's now boxing for the undisputed. So you've got to give her her plaudits. She's a phenomenal fighter. She's taken all of the risks that people weren't necessarily willing to take at such an early stage in her career. And it was partly me. I was telling her she's ready to get going and crack on at world level. But it's been an approach that we've both had together, and there's a confidence within each other. And I think one thing that Ellie, Ellie's incredibly humble and she's incredibly disciplined, and I think that bodes really, really well. But on the Monday or the Tuesday after the fight on Easter Sunday, it's going to be an anticlimax. It's going to be, I'm undisputed. It's just a normal another day. So then it's like, okay, let's set our sights on new challenges and new targets. And the beauty of it, she's just turned 28 years of age. She's still got plenty of future ahead of her.
And then Caroline was obviously facing Terri Harper, but most of the talk has been around the Baumgardner fight. But what's your thoughts on this Terri Harper fight?
Well, Terri's she's got experience. Obviously she's been stopped by Sandy Ryan, she got stopped by Baumgardner, but she's got experience. She's learnt from those. She's got a win over Sasha Jonas, who obviously went on to do great things as well. So, she's a well-established person. She's a fighter. She's been in world title fights at multiple different weights, and you can't take that away. That's experience that's gained. And I think it would be naive and silly of us to just go in there trying to blast her out, and because she's been stopped before. You're gonna have to set the shots up, and you're gonna have to be patient, and you're going to have to set traps. Even on the front foot, you're still going to have to set traps and stay disciplined. It's I don't want to think of it as being an easy fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Caroline catches her and stops her, but at the same time we're preparing for the best version of Terri Harper, and I think someone that's maturing late on. She's had her ups and downs, and she's come through them, and I think she's in good form, so we have to be respectful.
That's April 5th at the Olympia on Sky Sports. Shane, Crispin and Smith was in the gym today, spoke to him. Kind of looks like a potential option could be Zuffa. He said there's loads of options on the table, that might be one of them. What's next for Chris?
Look, he's a free agent right now, and we're working on something with Chris. he's in a great mindset. He's had a bit of a rest. He's had, his wife's had another baby. Like, he's hungry. He's still athletically got so much more to give. And I think someone that started boxing so late on, there's not that many miles on the clock. But it's just about the right opportunities now. He's been lucky to be headlining Sky Sports for multiple years beforehand. He's won world titles and stuff, so he's built a good profile, and he now needs to get the right fights, get paid well, and I think whoever puts their best foot forward, there's a lot of people interested, so there'll be news soon.
Just curious what your thoughts are on Zuffa for boxing. Obviously they got the Sky deal, so they're obviously serious players, but they've had criticism for the belt situation. What do you make of them and what they've done so far?
I think look, they're a new organisation, but they've got good infrastructure, they've got good people, they've got fantastic promoters, two people that are coming from a different field in Dana White and Nick Khan. They've also got the backing of Turki Al-Sheikh, who's been funding top-end boxing for the last 4 years, and I think they're in a very strong position because they've got the number one broadcaster in the UK, and they've also got a multi-year deal in the States, which a business model like that was never going to work in the first year. It's going to take a bit of time to build the infrastructure and learn from the mistakes, but I think they're going to be a powerful outfit for sure.
And talk to us about Adam. How's he getting on? Obviously he had an injury, so did his opponent, but how's he getting on?
He was in the gym this morning. He's nearly finished Ramadan. I think it's Eid tomorrow, so he'll start his camp fully on Monday, and we'll have news for his fight. I mean, he was frustrated, but these things happen, and the thing about Hitchens, obviously, I think, is ordered to box Delgado. Does Delgado and Hitchens go ahead? Does Hitchens move up? If we box for an IBF eliminator, do we box for the vacant title? There's loads of movement in the IBF there for Adam Azim, and the most important thing is just he's young. It's to make sure that they're the right decisions for him at this stage of his career, and which will make sure that we're doing the right thing, and then get his hands on a belt.
And is it still the plan to reschedule the Lemos fight?
Most likely, yeah, because he's highly ranked with the IBF. But if something else pops up, it pops up.
Talk about a couple of fights coming up. Daniel Dubois, Fabio Wardley. You obviously trained Daniel Dubois in the past for a few fights. Got him a WBA heavyweight champion. What do you think? Does he become champion that night?
It depends how Daniel Dubois approaches the fight. I think if Daniel Dubois doesn't get greedy and eager, I think he wins the fight. I think he's much better when it comes to staying on the jab. Fabio Wardley's like a wounded lion. He's fantastic when people come in and try and knock him out, and when he sits back. But when he goes searching for you, he's not technically the best. So it's down to Daniel. If Daniel could easily get hurt by Fabio Wardley, but also vice versa. I think it's who is the most strategic, who can keep themselves the most calm on the night. And they've sparred before, but Daniel can't be complacent in sparring sessions because Daniel's good in the sparring. I don't think Fabio's the best in sparring. So you can't think about how you did in sparring. See you later. You can't think about how you did in sparring. You've got to think about what this person's like with 10-ounce gloves on. And when he's got those 10-ounce gloves, he's a nasty puncher, and he's very effective.
Did that sparring happen?
Not in my gym. No.
Okay. And then just lastly, Tyson Fury, Makhmudov coming up. Fury's obviously been out of the ring for a while, but what's your thoughts on this fight?
I think it's a good fight for Tyson Fury. It's a fight where he'll be able to switch Makhmudov off. I think Makhmudov's been hurt a few times. He obviously got stopped as well, but he's I think his head's right on the line. He always uses his size as his advantage, and Tyson Fury is great when it comes to those sort of tall Eastern European sort of styles. So I think it'll take him a few rounds to figure him out, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson starts to get to him late on.
And just lastly, John Fury's done an interview today. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but probably not. You've been in the gym all day. But he's basically said that his relationship with Tyson's deteriorated, and he said a lot of that's due to him not being in the camp anymore. My question is, obviously, you have trained fighters like Daniel, who had father figures prominent in the camps. What impact does it have when the fathers aren't as involved as they'd like to be? Does it impact you as a trainer?
It can be a benefit and a hindrance to the fighter. It doesn't necessarily impact me. It would impact the kid. Now Tyson Fury is very much his own man. Daniel Dubois less so. I think when you have somebody that's their comfort and their support system, it's helpful. Tyson, I think, used his dad to keep him involved and as a infiltrator, someone that can shout and scream and cause a bit of chaos and unrest, and I think he doesn't need that in this fight, so he might make a U-turn when he needs it.
Cool, Shane, appreciate your time, and we'll see you April 5th.
No worries. Cheers, mate. Thank you.